Hi and welcome back to my playthrough of Firefly. As you already know, I'm doing a solo mission in this turn. I decided to go with this goal number 2, so I want to have at least $15,000 by the end of this game. I think I still have 16 turns left or so right now I'm doing fine in that respect. I already did my first 2 missions. I already found one little mistake, which I corrected as good as I can. But I think one thing I have to, let's say, adjust for the upcoming game rounds. And that's in respect to the Alliance Cruiser for once, and also in respect to the Reaver Cutter up there. There are normally 2 cards in the game who will actually move those 2. And these are, for once, the Cruiser Patrol. This will move the Alliance Cruiser apparently. And the other one in the border space would be the Reavers on the Hunt card. Normally it says the player to your right must move Reaver Cutter 1 sector within border space. I really played it too easy. I just moved them away from me, but I think I got several comments now that this is basically bullshit, and of course it is. So I decided that, or at least there were some hints which said to me, okay, whenever they are doing this solo mission, they would move the Alliance Cruiser or the Reaver Cutter at least 1 space closer to your location over here. And I think I will play it a little bit differently, as I missed already 4 turns basically doing that right. So from now on I will roll a 6-sided die. Whenever I will roll a 1, 2, 3, I will move the appropriate ship 1 space, and if it's a 4 to 6, I will move the appropriate ship 2 spaces, and I will really try to move them as close as possible. Really, I will try to keep them as close as possible to me, because really without that it's basically of no use having them on the board. So thanks again for making me aware, and I think this is definitely a very good contribution to my playthrough. It really makes a lot of sense in a solo playthrough, because I think otherwise the game would be definitely too easy. Right now we are already at around over $5,000, so that's definitely not too bad. There is definitely one thing that's not so good, and this is the status of my crew here. As you can see, all of them carries a disgruntled token at this point in time. So whenever they would take another one or an additional one, they would leave me. And there are definitely some very tricky misbehave cards out there who tell you everyone would gain a disgruntled token. So that's really something to take care of maybe already in this turn. And I think this is what I will do in this turn. So I will have to spend my whole buy phase basically in this turn to send these guys on shore leave. Now I have to pay $500 for all the crew members, and this now includes my captain, because also my captain could carry a disgruntled token. So I have to pay $500, and this would allow me to remove the disgruntled tokens for now. Unfortunately, I won't be able to look through the Space Bazaar deck. Of course, I could shake the discard pile, but I'm not be able to buy anything from that. So this is something I have to postpone to the next round, basically. But I can still deal, and that's definitely something I will do. So there is 1 card on the discard pile. This is basically the card I discarded at the setup, and this is a pretty good card because it brings me back to Persephone, and in Persephone I could maybe later on sell some items to Badger. So I think I will definitely take this card. I can still draw 2 additional cards from the draw pile, and I could keep up to 2 cards of these 3 basically. It's always say consider 3, take 2. That's the same rule, or the same rule also applies for buying material at the Space Bazaar or Silverhold or whenever. So let's have a look at these cards here. This is 1400, this is 1300, this is Red Sun, the Space Bazaar. This is not too bad. This is Harvest. This is a bonus for a companion. So I got a companion, as you can see here. So I think I will take these 2 cards. I will discard the 3rd card. So maybe during the next visit to Amnon Duel I will be able to take this card as well. So I'm now back at 3 missions, so still I have this card here from Niska, and I think this is something I will also do any second now. Okay, I've taken my deal action, I've taken my buy action. Of course I didn't buy anything. I will now do my work action, and I still got this nasty mission from Niska, and this says jump and hump the competition. There's a need. We have to have 2 of these mechanic symbols. That's not a problem. I'm still up to 6. And I have to perform 3 of those misbehave cards now. And again, I will send all of my crew to this mission here. And the good thing about this mission is that it says load 1 cargo per crew on the job. This is basically my reward. And let me roll up a little bit, and I'm also getting a mechanic bonus, 1 part, so I would also get an additional part which I could use when traveling through the verse. And the reward is special, so I don't have to give the crew any cut here, because there is no money really involved in the reward here. And the rules really just clearly say you only have to pay them a cut when you do, or when you get the reward here. You don't have to give the crew any cut when selling any items, good, contrabands, whatsoever. So I think this is definitely a perfect mission for someone with a large crew that I have. Okay, so I think I can draw my very first misbehave card here. And this says Alliance Patrol. There are 2 options again. One is identification, please. And there you have to roll for your diplomacy, and you have to roll an 8. And this is really tough because I already have 4, which is not bad, but still I have to roll a 4. And the second option would be hightail it out of there. Requires transport. In this case, the attempt would be botched. With a fake ID, I would be able to proceed. Unfortunately, I don't have one, but I know there is one in the discard pile of the Space Bazaar. This is really a pity. So I could now risk it. Whenever I would not be able to do the first stuff here, it would says warrant issued. In this case, the mission would be, or the job would be cancelled, and I cannot retry it in the next turn. Normally that's not really bad problem. Bad thing is that happen, you're no longer solid with this contact and so on. But in case of Niska, and I think this is something I have to show you here, it says, if you are issued a warrant while working a Niska job, kill a crew. Yeah, and this is definitely something I want to avoid. Still, I have my medic. The medic could be able to heal someone, but the risk is still pretty high, to be honest. So I think I would rather use my transport, which my captain has, to take the second option, attempt botch. So still, we have not really progressed in the actual mission, but with attempt botch, we would be able to retry that during our next turn. And I think this is really what I will do here. Okay, I think I did everything I wanted to do. Of course, there's one thing left I could do, and this would be to move. I will now take my move action, but I will not really actually move, so I don't have to move. But still, I have to discard one of these disgruntled tokens, of course, and then we start a new game round. The good thing about the new game round is that I now can do another buy action. And I think this is really something I will do, so I don't take a shore leave. This turn I will rather search through the Space Bazaar here. For once, I definitely want to have the fake ID here. I really need that to go through the misbehave deck. And I will also draw 2 additional cards from the draw pile. So again, it's consider 3, take 2. And these are the 2 additional cards I've drawn. For one, this would be Helen. This would be a grifter, which is who's not too bad. So she brings a gun, she brings a diplomacy symbol. She's a moral crew, so this can be problematic, but I think most of my crew is moral anyway, so this wouldn't really be a bad. And she can remove disgruntled tokens. And the other one is basically a fake ID, but this is only a temporary fake ID, so I can only use them once. But they are pretty cheap in respect to the real fake ID here. Bona fide credentials. For once, they bring you 1 additional item here, diplomacy icon here, and the fake ID, and of course they would cost you 1,000. But still, this is definitely something I will pay. This is key, these keywords here, so I will pay 1,000 bucks here, and this would allow me to take the fake ID, and I think I will assign the fake ID to my Captain Marco here. These 2 cards go back to the discard pile, so I might be able to buy them in a later turn. I will pay 200 to buy some additional fuel. Really sure if I need that, but nevertheless I will buy them. This concludes my buy action in this turn. I could now deal, I could fly, but first of all, of course, I will retry the mission here. Jump and hump the competition. Again, I have to draw all 3 of these misbehave cards. So whenever you have to interrupt attempt to do these kind of jobs, you have to go through all the misbehave cards that are required. And let's see what our first misbehave card is. A vote of no confidence. First option is I love my captain. Requires no disgruntled crew. Load 1 cargo and proceed. And this is awesome as we got just rid of all the disgruntled tokens. So I'm now allowed to load 1 additional cargo and I'm even allowed to proceed my attempt here. Wow, that's really awesome. If someone from my crew would have a disgruntled token, I had to take the second option here, and this would say pay each disgruntled crew an extra cut now or discard them. Proceed. Of course, in both ways I would be able to proceed, but I think the first option is much nicer. Let's have a look at the second card now. And this says kidnapped by Hillfolk. That's nice. I can really remember the episode where Simon and River, I think, were both more or less hijacked or kidnapped by these Hillfolk here. Burn them, she's a witch. Yeah, I think you know where I'm coming from. Okay, the first option would be the witch must burn. This is a diplomacy check. I again need at least an 8. And the second option would be requires at least 2 gun symbols from a firearm gear, which I do not have, so I cannot take this second option. And I would also be able to proceed if I would have a Hillfolk with me, which I also don't know. And so I have to take now the very first option here. As I mentioned, I have to roll at least a 4. Luckily, I just got my fake ID here, which gives me an additional diplomacy icon. So I'm now up to 5. So I would need to roll at least a 3. If I'm not able to roll at least a 3, then I would have to kill a crew and the attempt would be botched. Again, I could retry this mission during my next turn, but still I could be able to lose a crew, which is not so nice. So let's roll the die and hope for a 3 here. Yeah, come on, I'm really not cheating here. So yeah, cool. I definitely made it, so I can now proceed on this mission, and this will be my last misbehave card here for this job, and this says gunplay. First option is my guns will do the talking. I would need to roll at least a 7. If not, wow, I have to kill a crew again. And the second one would be disgruntle all crew attempt botched. To be honest, I think I will take a risk here. Because anyhow, the attempt would be botched and I could lose a crew, but maybe I think that's something I will risk here. So let's check our weapon symbols. Right now only our Captain Marco got 2 of these tokens, so I have to roll at least a 5 now. If not, I lose a crew, or maybe I would lose a crew. And there's also one thing I already missed. It says when you proceed while misbehaving, take $100. And the same goes for war shears. So basically also during my last mission, I think I forgot that. So I proceeded 2 times. So I will not repair that for the last mission, but for this mission. So I got 2 times $100. So this would be $400, which is definitely not too bad. But still, I would have to roll a 5, and I really want to go on here. Let's really risk it. So we are looking for a 5. And no, that's a 2. So in total, I only rolled a 4 with my abilities here. So I have now to kill a crew. Of course, I will kill the med staff here. And he's a medic, he can heal himself. This is a little bit odd in this game, but yeah, that's allowed. So I can now roll again. On a roll of 5 or 6, we can return the crew to the ship. So let's hope for a 5 or a 6 here. And yeah, wow, what a great doctor he is. So he's basically, everything is good with him, so he returns to the ship. Unfortunately, the job is still botched, or the attempt is still botched, so I have to redo this during my next turn. Again, I will not really move, so still I have to give away one of my disgruntled tokens, and I'm already down to 40 now, and we really need to progress here. And again, I think I will do a buy action first, so let's have a look at the draw pile. So I completely drawn 3 new cards from the draw pile. So this is a gun hand, which brings me 1 additional firearm. We have 2 scrappers who bring me some additional fuel when I do some salvage ops. And I think, yeah, let's go for this gun hand here. So I will hire him. So I will pay $100. I'm getting 400 back. And so I will be now able to hire this gun hand. With this I reached my crew maximum of 6, which is okay. And I think I'm really not thinking of keeping him too long. So I won't pay him by the end of this mission and stuff. But he will provide 1 extra gun symbol here. And when he is killed, he would move to the discard pile instead of removing him from the game. He's expendable. Let's move back to our job here. Niska is getting, I think, a little bit uneasy because we are keep him waiting for so long. So let's have a look at our very first misbehave card. And this says old-fashioned shootout. The first option, let the bullets fly. Again, I have to do a weapon test. The second option I think I like way better. Can't get paid if you're dead. Requires a transport and we are allowed to proceed, which is pretty cool because we have a transport from our captain. This time I will remember the special abilities from Kaylee and Wash. I gained 200 bucks because I proceeded on a misbehave card. And let's have a look at the second card here. And this says everything that's not nailed down. One thing is loader up, requires transport, and this said load up to 3 contraband and we are able to proceed. Come on, this is awesome. And the second option, idle hands are the devil's workshop. For each crew on the job without gear, load 1 contraband. Wow, for each job on job without gear. And we have 4 guys on the job without gear, so I will load 4 contraband rather than just the 3 contraband from the very first option. And both allow me to proceed. Hey, and this is really awesome. So that's 1, 2... Oh no, let's do them in the stash. Maybe we come through customs patrol. So that's 4 contraband now. And I don't need the actual reward anymore, to be honest. But still, let's move ahead and try our third card here. And this says, let's go to the crappy town where I'm a hero. Speech, speech, speech. Also a very fancy episode. First option, we can do discussion. I think we only need to roll a 1, so we can proceed this one. But we also can go for the second option here, which says Diabolical Master of Disguise, where we would need roll a 0 to proceed. With Jane's Head, we could proceed anyhow, but we don't have Jane's Head. This means we now have attempted our 3 misbehave card, and this also means we have completed our job for Niska. Finally. For once, we are getting the mechanic bonus, so remember, I think Kaylee is a mechanic, so we're getting 1 bonus part for her special ability, and we would be allowed to load 1 cargo per crew on the job. Unfortunately, we only have 2 cargo holds left, but that's better than nothing. So we have a pretty loaded ship now, and we really better hope that we will not engage the Alliance cruiser, to be honest. So I really have to weight them as good as I can. Again, I think I forgot to do the bonus actions for Kaylee and Wash. When you proceed while misbehaving, take $100. I proceeded 2 times, so this is $500 additional dollars. So let's take the 500 and give 100 back. And we are also solid with Niska now. Remember, I don't have to pay the crew any cut now because my reward was not actual cash. And I see I forgot to take my parts. So let's load our bonus parts as well. And as my last action in this turn, I will actually really move now. So I will pay 1 fuel for a full burn, and I think I will go in this space here. So let's draw our first nav card, and this says abandoned ship. I could go for a salvage ops mission to rescue the valuables, of course, blink blink. And this other one is slide on by, keep flying. I don't have any cargo holds, so it doesn't really matter to do the salvage ops here. So let's move 1 space ahead, draw an additional card, and this now says again the cruiser patrol, and now my rule will apply, so I will roll a die. And in this case, that's only 1. So I will move the Alliance cruiser 1 space closer to myself. With my third move action, I will move into Persephone space. And this says the big plaque, keep flying. One last thing to do. And this is to discard 1 of these disgruntled tokens. Let's start the new game round. The first thing I will do when I meet with Badger is, of course, to deal with Badger. And as I'm solid with Badger, I could now sell him contraband for 700 each and cargo for 400 each, and this is really not a bad deal. And as I can sell these 3 cargo to Badger for 1200 bucks, and note I don't have to give the crew any cut here, and I will sell the 4 contraband to Badger as well for 2800. So this was really a pretty good deal for us. This also means we are already over $8,000. That's really awesome. I'm still dealing with Badger, so I can also go for one additional job. Right now I have 2 jobs on my hand, and I think I will keep those 2 jobs for now. So let's have a look at these 3 jobs. And I think I will go for the hospital job here, which also says me misbehave to get paid. I would get a medic bonus of 400. Right now I still have a medic. I would gain 3,500, which is really not too bad. The requirements are fake ID. I have one. I need 2 of these mechanic symbols and 2 diplomacy symbols. That's all not really a problem, so definitely let's go for it. Then I will do a buy action, and these are the 3 cards. So this is a hacking rig, I already have one. This is a scrapper, which I cannot really hire anymore, and this is a transport, which I also already have. So this would definitely not a very good draw, so we can just discard them. Then I will start an additional job, and this says gun running 3 hills. And this starts at Persephone here at Lux. It says misbehave to load 2 contraband. So I need to misbehave again. I will send all of my 6 crew down to this job. So let's see what our misbehave card brings. And this said, everything that's not nailed down. 1 is load up, requires transport, load up to 3 contraband and proceed. And I think we already knew this card, so this is, I think, twice in the deck. So again, I could go for 4 additional contraband to... Wow, that's awesome. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's draw 4 contraband. Again, I will start here in my stash. So this is 4 contraband. I proceeded in my misbehave. So again, I take 200 extra bucks for Kaylee and Wash. And I also did the prerequisite for this mission, and this says misbehave to load 2 contraband, so I gain an additional 2 contraband. So these are the actual 2 mission contraband. Actually, I don't really need them, but still they are pretty cool. And so this is now my active job, and this requires me really to fly to 3 hills in the Georgia system, and this says deliver 2 contraband to get paid. The money is actually not really bad. I have to mention now that I'm now an outlaw ship, and you are getting an outlaw ship pretty soon in this game. For once, if you have loaded any fugitive or contraband on your ship, so this would be a fugitive rather than a passenger. So on the back side there's the passenger. This is one option to get an outlaw ship. Another one would be to have a warrant on your ship. This would also make you an outlaw ship. And there are also crew who has this warrant token basically pre-configured on their card. So I think Simon, of course, has one. River Tam has one of these symbols. So whenever you carry this kind of crew with you, you are an outlaw ship. Then I will take my move action. Again, I have to spend 1 fuel, and then I would move here. So let's draw our first nav card. And this says, what's going on in the engine room? Where there's space monkeys, that's option 1. Just rewire the graft thrust, spend 1 part, keep flying. So again, I'm at 6 of these tokens, so I can roll easily. I need a 7 to more or less keep flying. I rolled a 6, so this explodes even, so no problems here. I can keep flying. Kaylee did a very good job. So I will move here into the 2nd sector. And this, oh, no way. Ah, no, that's good. That's perfect. Okay, it says, customs inspection, prepare to be boarded. Contraband and fugitives not in your stash are seized. Full stop. Then you can turn and burn. You have to spend 1 fuel. You get a warrant, but you can evade, which also ends your movement right now. Luckily, I'm solid with Hearken. And this says, your papers are in order. When solid with Hearken, you may ignore the custom inspections nav card. Awesome. So we got rid of this thread here. This was really not so nice. Of course, I could still have played one of these cards. So let's go for our third movement here. And this says, if in the coil bust, we're in the drifting. Best not bust them. 8 would be a breakdown. So I would have to roll at least a 2 now. Or I could spend 2 parts. I will risk it, to be honest. So this is a 2 plus 6 is 8. So again, Kaylee did a great job to keep flying, but Ariel is my target location for this job. So I will stop here. But first of all, I have to remove one of those disgruntled tokens as I have moved. I think I will end my playthrough here. I hope you enjoyed it so far. Hope it still makes sense. Please keep making me aware of any mistakes, or if you have any suggestions to make the game a little bit more harder in solo play. Please don't hesitate. Write me comments on my Facebook page, YouTube, Board Game Geek, you name it. And yeah, I hope I will see you all again in my next episode of my playthrough of Firefly. And until then, bye bye.